love you all. Welcome all you lovers to the Florida Love Show. This is your love hour right before happy hour, sponsored by Florida Love. Join us each week as we spread love in the Florida community and transform the world with love. Now, back to spreading love.
This is for you, Kenny. It's the Florida Love Show, paying love forward is the theme. It's the Florida Love Show, hosted by Kenny and his dream. Every special guest brings their love to the set, and the interview flies, it all comes alive like a duet. He wears many hearts, so he has a very special side. In the Brooklyn Cafe, it's a big love buffet. With roses galore, and you are adored. Come take a bouquet. Show your love wherever you can. Shine your light. Follow this man. Live your dreams. Plan your day. If you love them, you are on your way. Show your love wherever you can. Shine your light. Follow this man. Live your dreams. Make your day. If you love them, you are on your way. Shine your love wherever you can. Shine your light. Love this man. Live your dreams. Make your day. If you love them, you are on your way. Give the gift of love and pay it forward and go. Give a kiss, give a hug. It's the Florida Love Show. Love you, Kenny.
Mwah. Love you, Sha. So Sha sings the Florida Love Show song. Sha will be singing today. I'm so excited. We've got her daughter Talia here today for a birthday celebration. And we have her friend from Israel, Aviv Love, who came in yesterday from Israel. So she is spreading love to Israel. And then I have my two featured guests. I have Yzaguirre-Kelley and Maritsa Kelley, and they are husband and wife. And we're going to be loving Joe's best friend, Joshua Mant, who I call Joshua Love, who passed when he was 42, 5 years ago. And I've been loving him all week and having the best time loving Joe and loving Maritsa. So I just want to show everybody this amazing guy, Joe. This is Josh. This is Joe's best friend. Where was this picture taken, Joe?
A long time ago, I'm not sure where it was. I just had it stored in my phone. But I really like it.
Yeah, great picture, right?
Yeah, I believe it was somewhere in Massachusetts.
And he's a fun guy. He's a fun guy. Matter of fact, let me just show you one of my other favorites of him.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
Was that at the race?
I'm not sure if that was I think that was at the 5K that we did
At
in
the
Boca.
5K you did with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
lots of fun.
So we're going to be loving Joshua Love today, and he passed. He was 42. 5 years ago, he passed in his sleep. So life is short, and I always say life is short. I always say I could pass right now on this show. So we have to love each other while we're still here. So I just want to say I love you to everybody. So I love you so much. Love you, Talia. Love you, Jenna. Jenna's taking pictures today. Love you, Talia. Happy birthday. Love you, Aviv from Israel. Love you, Joe.
Love you too.
Love you, Maritsa.
Love you too.
Love you, Sha. Love you, love you, love you. So life is short, and also God is love. So God is love. And God spreads love like love fire. So when I love one person, God spreads love to all human beings. So here at Florida Love, we love all human beings. We forgive and we love. We forgive and we love. And God just takes that love and spreads it all over the world. So just to give you an example of how life is short, I knew Maritsa, but Joe and I got to know each other at Stanley Goodman's funeral. Stanley's been on the show twice to share about his son, Richard, who wrote The Unsung Poet, and he was autistic. And I'm at the Shiva, and I see Maritsa and Joe there, and I'm like, I'd love you to be on the Florida Love Show. And I said, who passed recently in your life? And then Joe was like my best friend Josh. I'm gonna like start tearing up. And that's how God spreads love. Things just happen. Crazy coincidences happen. And it's no accident that Talia, what's your boyfriend's name? Josh. Okay. And who's my music maestro there in the back?
That's Josh.
That's Josh. See, there were 3 Joshes. No accidents. So when George Floyd passed, I went out and I said, I got to do something about this. I saw the police officer put his knee on his neck, and I saw the life come out of him. Again, unexpected. He didn't know he was going to pass. His family didn't know he was going to pass. And so I asked my hero, what do I do? Because I wanted to do something about it. I was crying. I was bawling when I saw it. I said, I got to do something. And ever since then, I always say, I got to do something about this world right now so we all love each other. So I asked my idol, Martin Luther King, I said, what do I do? And I just want to read this. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed, that all men are created equal. All men and women are created equal. All human beings are created equal. And Martin Luther King said to me, I was on my way to the show here with 6 dozen roses. He said, go back into Whole Foods and give roses to every African American. So that's what I did. And it's now become a worldwide love movement called Roses for Change. And we go on Roses for Change love marches. And I give out roses and say, I love you. So before the show, I went to Publix and I got my roses. Oh my God, Mom, I love you so much. I'm your hero. Oh my God. Sha, she kills me when she does this to me. Mom, I love you so much, Mom. You're my hero too. You know, for parents to tell their son or their kids that they're their hero or that they're proud of them or that they love them, I start crying. I mean, so that's like the greatest thing you could do. So even today, go out and tell your kids that they're your hero, you love them, that you're proud of them. So I love you, Mom. I love you so much. Love you, love you, love you. Oh my God, yes, God is love, Dean. Yes, God is love, Dean. So Dean's been on the show. Love you, Dean. Love you so much. So Dean was on the show. Dean is a world famous artist. Oh my God, what a voice. Well, love you, Mahiz. Oh my God, where are you from? Oh my God. Oh, Louise, I love you, Louise, watching from Boca. So Louise is the featured guest next week, and we're going to be loving Louise next week. So, wow, I'm really moved. Please keep the comments coming. And so Dean, as I was saying, is a world-famous artist. He was on the show. He teaches children for Hugs and Smiles Children's Foundation, artwork. He spreads love all over the world through his world-famous artwork. So love you so much, Dean. Love you, love you. Love you, Mahiz. Love you, Mom. Love you, Louise. Please keep the comments coming. So after I gave out roses to every African American, the news covered it. And Roses for Change love marches. Actually, I posted it on Facebook, and over 600 likes, and all of a sudden it became this worldwide love movement. People call me from all over the world to give out roses and say, I love you. And we have days of love at Florida Love. We have days of love in recovery centers, at churches, temples, anywhere. So like I was in Publix today, handing out roses to everybody. And everybody was saying, you made my day, or they lit up, or thank you, and the kids love it more than anything. So the news covered it, not just the TV news, but the Sun Sentinel, the Del Rey, the Boca News, and again, just spread love all over the world. So I'm going to play you the two newses so you get an idea what Florida Love, the Roses for Change love marches are all about. Please play the two newses.
Welcome back. Now at 5:30, who couldn't use a little love right now?
One Pompano Beach businessman is making it his mission to spread love all around by giving out the flower of love to random strangers. CBS 4's Lisa Petrillo has this heartwarming story.
There's an old song with lyrics that say what the world needs now is love, sweet love. Ken Lehrman is living that moment in a movement he created called Roses for Change.
We love you.
The idea for Roses for Change came about after the death of George Floyd and the turmoil that followed.
I felt their pain. And for me, I don't see color. I mean, I see us all as human beings. And we all can love each other. I mean, love is simple.
Ken, who owns his own printing business for 35 years, appropriately named the Happy Printer, decided to spring into action, purchasing dozens of roses he could hand out.
The first thing I did was I went to Whole Foods, and I also went to Publix, and I gave out roses to all the African Americans in the store. And I said, I love you. And they said I love you back. And they said, God bless you. And they said, we need love more now than ever before.
Ken was so moved by the response, he posted pictures on Facebook, receiving 600 likes. Suddenly, Roses for Change on Facebook was born. His followers wanted to join him, buying roses too, and it's now become a movement, spreading love to people of all races. We recently caught up with them in Boca Raton.
I just want to say I love you. Have a wonderful day.
Michelle Bellman, who had never met Ken in person, wanted in on the love train and came out on this day to volunteer.
His message is just of love, and love yourself, and love one another. And he speaks to my soul, and he speaks to me because I love to spread love as well.
Some were skeptical, wondering if there's a catch to these random acts of kindness. But for those who understood it, it meant the world.
I think it's just amazing. This is really, really nice. You're really showing your love. You're taking your time to do this. Just amazing. And the red flowers, forget it. Just bringing brightness to this world. It's much needed. Thank you so much.
Seriously, so sweet.
Can you imagine what a world it would be like if we just all gave roses to each other instead of what's actually going on? Like, to me, that's a way to spread a message. Spread the message of love.
Lucky me, I received my rose. For more information on Roses for Change when they meet every Friday, go on to our website at cbsmiami.com. I'm Lisa Petrillo, Smelling Sweet, CBS 4 News.
We're continuing to bring you inspiring stories from our area about people changing their communities for the better. Tonight, WPTV News Channel 5's Chris Gilmore shares the story of a man on a mission to spread love, one rose at a time.
Roses are red and Ken Lehrman's suit is too.
Love you, Anthony.
If you see his bouquets, he has a message for you.
Man, love you, brother.
The 55-year-old loves love.
I love you.
And he now uses roses to let people know it.
No, I love you.
There's some pain behind Lehrman's purpose. His Roses for Change campaign began this summer after he and people across the country witnessed the fallout following the death of George Floyd while in police custody.
How can one human being do that to another human being? Like, I was crying. when I saw it.
Armed with roses and a message of love, Lerman says he wanted to reach those most affected.
I got to give this to all the African Americans. They're hurting.
His message has since caught on both online and in Palm Beach County, where he regularly shares love and roses to people of all colors. We caught up with Lerman with 100 of his favorite flowers in hand at the Milagro Center in Delray Beach.
A lot of learning goes on every day here in the Milagro Center, but today's lesson consisted of some flowers and 3 words going a long way.
I love you.
I was surprised and I was like, oh, I love you too.
A lot of these teens say it's been a while since they've heard those words directed at them, and even longer since they have been given flowers.
It was kind of weird at first. I was like, roses giving someone flowers. It was kind of weird because I didn't expect that, but it's pretty nice. It's a really nice gesture.
He said, I love you, you stay safe, and told my grandma happy birthday too.
Lerman says he hopes the connection he makes with strangers leaves a lasting impact.
That's my mission every single day, to spread love in the Florida community and transform the world with love.
Because maybe all you need is love. In Delray Beach, Chris Gilmore, WPTV News Channel 5.
And you can help us share stories that are inspiring South Florida. Just send us your ideas to inspiringsfl@WPTV.com, or you can head
to the first reporter, Lisa Petrillo, I love you. And Chris Gilmore, the second reporter, I love you. So Chris Gilmore said, maybe all you need is love. So here at Florida Love, we say, all you need is love. That's it. Love is everything. And life is short. So we only have now. I could pass right now. We only have now to love each other. So go out and love everybody. I say I love you to everybody. I mean, I came out of my apartment today. I said I love you to my neighbor. I said I love you to the person in the elevator. I said I love you to their dog. I said I love you to the doorman, the security guard, the maintenance guy, a person coming to their car in the garage. I say I love you to everybody. So I love each and every one of you. And what we do here at Florida Love is we spread love to all human beings. So I believe if we spread love to one human being, it spreads to all human beings. Because God is love. And God spreads love like love fire. So as I was saying there, I don't see color. So when I look at people, I look in their eyes, only in their eyes. And there's only one race, the human race. That's it. We're all human beings. We're all the same. We all have blood. So like, look in these 2 kids' eyes. I mean, all you see is love. Just look in their eyes. So love is the absence of judgment. So without judgment, all you could do is see the love in their eyes. I'm getting very emotional. So we're all human beings, and we can all love each other. And my mission at Florida Love, this is my dream, that we spread love in the Florida community, transform the world with love, and spread love all over the world, such that all human beings love each other. I mean, when I see these 2 kids, I just look in their eyes and I see pure love. So when I met Maritsa and Joe, I saw pure love. I said, I'd love you to be on the show. Now, Joe, first thing I said to Joe is, you're a mushball. Because Joe has the biggest heart. I mean, he looks like this tough giant, but he's really a gentle giant. He's so muscular, but he's really just a mushball. He's got so much love inside of him. Joe, you're pure love, and I love you so much. And I'm just so honored to have you on the show today, to love Josh, your best friend.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. And yeah, so can you switch over to Joe, please, on the couch, and Maritsa, please. Yeah, so I want to ask you, I'm going to show you a few things, Joe, and I want you to tell me about these things.
Go straight to the heart, Kenny.
Say it louder.
Said you go straight to the heart with that one, huh? Yeah, that picture means everything to me.
So tell me more about this.
Well, it's actually, to be honest, it was it's Thanksgiving Day football game back in 1993, and ironically, we were playing that game for a fellow classmate who had gotten cancer, and had taken over his body pretty severely. And we were playing against our rival. I think it's the oldest rivalry in the state. It was Barnstable. We're from Falmouth. We were like, I don't know, 5-5 or 4-something that year. We had a lot of injuries. And we were playing against a team that was supposed to go to the Super Bowl. And I remember Sean was the kid we were referring to. He had come into the locker room and he said, play every play like it's your last, because I'll never get to play again. And we walked out of that locker room like men on a mission. And we literally played every play like it was our last. And we ended up winning that game. And probably 30, if we played them 30 times, we'd probably get beat 29 of them. And we ended up winning that game for somebody who was going through something that was very close to all of us. And ironically, Josh had 2 touchdowns in that game. And it came down, it was a very, very severe day. And it came down to a 2-point conversion for the win. And how the play went was we were going to give Josh the ball again. I handed him the ball. He dropped it. Of course, if he was still here, he'd probably say it was a muffed handoff. But either way, the ball hit the ground. I picked up the ball and followed Josh into the end zone, but he ended up taking out 2 guys that were in front of him before I got in. And when I landed, half of my body was over the end zone, the other half wasn't. And we ended up winning that game for Sean. Probably the biggest game of my life. And I've played high school football, I've played college football. Probably the biggest game of that town's history. You know, not so much for the game, but just for what was going on with that family at that time. And, you know, it was just, I'll never forget that game.
So Sean had cancer.
Yeah.
And you played the game for Sean to win.
Yes.
And he's putting up like a number 1. Is that you or is that Josh?
That was after he scored a touchdown.
Okay.
And the camera caught him, well, that's Josh in that picture, you know, pointing back to where Sean was. Sean was outside of the end zone in a van, and he was watching it from inside the van, from the window. So that was Josh pointing at Kevin.
Yeah, so Josh is a mushball also, like you.
To some degree, yes.
Well, full of love like you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and he's your best friend since you were 6, right, from Little League.
Yeah.
So it says Joshua Mant, July 2nd, 1975 to May 7th, 2018. Forever in our hearts. I'm going to get emotional. Yeah, so what's it like for you to see this?
It's hard, you know. It's memorable. You know, I have a lot of honor in terms of that day and our friendship and stuff, but, you know, it's to realize he's no longer here, it's tough.
So tell me about that day on May 7th, 2018.
Sure. I had gotten a phone call, like, in the middle of the night.
2 days before that.
What's up? Yeah. So it was 2 days before that. I had gotten a phone call in the middle of the night, and I had answered it, and it was a female that he was with at the time, and said that Josh was being brought to the hospital, and that I needed to get there. I had no idea what was going on. So I don't know if I woke my wife or if she was already up, and I said, we gotta go. And I went straight to the hospital, and he was on a ventilator, and he wasn't breathing, he wasn't awake. And from what I gathered, you know, I mean, I don't know everything, but he had sleep apnea, and he stopped breathing at night in his sleep. And I think by the time she looked over and noticed that he wasn't breathing, I don't know how long it had been. So he, unfortunately, at the hospital, he never woke up.
And when was the last time you spoke to him?
Probably a couple of days before that. I still have my text thread with him in my phone. I always kind of go back to and look. I had texted him 4 days prior to that, but we weren't real big text guys with each other. More phone calls and stuff like that. but I know I had talked to him, and the last text that I have on my phone was, "Do you find out any news yet on the sex of the baby?" Because my wife was pregnant with our second child, our third child. So.
Yeah. So she was pregnant with your third child. Yeah. Yeah. And you miss your best friend every second of every day. You told me he rides in the car with you.
Yeah, he does. It's so he was cremated, and his sisters, his parents are no longer here. His sisters gave me his ashes because we grew up together. We did everything together, and I kind of chuckle at how that went through. That not chuckling went down, but me and Josh always went back and forth with each other. You know, I mean, in terms of making fun and things guys do. And I had to pick out an urn, to put his ashes in. And I thought I had gotten this urn that was like something that was typical small, but when it came in, it was like this cylinder block thing. And I had a moment where I'm like, oh,
40 pounds.
You're still having the last laugh, Josh, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? Because, it's something to me that I think that he would chuckle about. So being me and being him, I'm like, oh yeah, well now I'm gonna carry you around with me every day. So now he's in my car and he's gonna listen to me every moment of the day. And I was asked last week why I carry him around with me. And it's because he's always been with me. And I think, going over where I wanted to spread his ashes was a difficult thing for me to do because we had so many good moments and so many good memories, whether it was in Massachusetts or down here in Florida. I mean, I think it will be somewhere in Massachusetts. It's just, I've been undecided of where that should be. But I have an idea, but until that happens, I mean, he'll always ride with me, but he's literally riding with me now.
Yeah, so you got like a supersized urn for a supersized guy, right? Because he's a really big guy, you told me.
Yeah, he
and
was
we had
a
a
big guy.
comparison. You're Tom Brady because you played quarterback, and he was Gronk.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I always, I chuckle to this day, even with his family, even when I was giving the eulogy, which was very hard, it's, Josh was that type of guy where, some of us were like suave, growing up, you had girlfriends or this or that. I mean, Josh, I'm like, Josh, what are you going to do? Put her in a headlock? Because he was just like, he didn't have like a
Genesis law.
Yeah, like a gentle side to him so much. And it was funny, especially with my kids. I loved seeing him with my kids because, he was really gentle. He was just so physically strong and big that when you see him trying to be gentle, it was like kind of awkward, But I mean, that's another thing I said, that I'm gonna miss is, growing up. That was the two words that I always described about Josh is, and I think anybody that was close to him would say that when he was around, you felt protected, you felt safe, and I'll miss that for my kids because I know what they meant to him.
Yeah, you told me like he was your bodyguard. You always felt safe and protected because he was the biggest guy in the high school, right?
Yeah, he was a tough kid, and he was a big guy. And when you knew better and whether or not to say certain things or this or that. But for me, yeah, I mean, I wasn't as big as Josh. I was blessed with athletic ability, this and that. But even people in high school or regardless, middle school, where you found Josh, you found me. Where you found me, you found him. And it's one of those relationships that's once in a lifetime. Even today, it's hard because we all battle with certain stuff. And he was always my first call, whether it was something bad or something good. And it was awkward, after that, not having the ability to call somebody and it felt empty,
Yeah, and he was totally loyal to you, always there for you no matter what.
Regardless.
So I want to show you a few more pictures.
He looks good.
Now, where is this?
That's my first wedding. I was married once. Josh was the best man in that wedding. I think I was probably around 23. Josh was about 23, 24. He had like 6 months on me.
Two handsome guys, very handsome guys. Frickin' frack together.
Oh,
always.
yeah. He'd probably want me to play his best man speech for you right now, but.
Well, the show's dedicated to him, and he's with us right now.
Right.
He's with us right now.
That was freshman year. Freshman year football. Falmouth High School, Massachusetts, Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Yeah, so there's Tom Brady and Gronk, or we say the quarterback, but he was the running back, not the tight end.
He was a running back and a linebacker.
And a linebacker.
So, if that answers anything for you.
You guys were the best. Like, what a team.
Yeah, I think we're the.
And you were the only ones who made varsity, you told me.
Yeah, and so I mean, high school football is, freshmen play with freshmen, sophomores are pretty much JV squad, and some juniors that didn't really play that much. And during that year, I think there was 4 of us from our class that got pulled up to varsity, and me and Josh were one of the 2. We were always very proud of that, and again, like such in life, it's like wherever we went together, so.
So how old are you here?
Oh, wow. 16 maybe. 15,
and how tall
16.
is he, and how tall are you?
I was probably about, back then, 5'8", 5'8.5". He probably at the time 6 feet. He was the guy, like, that made all of us other guys feel like there was something wrong with us, because he grew like middle school and junior high school. I don't think he ever got any taller after junior high school. He just shot right up. He put on the weight, you know what I mean? But yeah, try being best friends with somebody who's a giant. You're gonna start feeling a little bit sorry for yourself in those early ages. So, and he let me know too. No worries.
Oh.
We play one-on-one basketball games outside in front of his house, and he would literally, no skill, and I still won't give him that. He would back me down with brute strength and just put it in. He's like, I win again. And I remember the first time I ever beat him. Oh, he was not happy.
So I love you and Josh so much, Joe. Love you so much.
Thank you.
No accent, you guys are both J's, JJ.
Yeah.
So I'll show you a few more here.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite pictures, and more recent. It was at the baptism?
Yeah, it was the baptism for Ryder. Ryder or Winter?
Ryder, because he had
Ryder.
passed before Winter.
Oh yeah, baptism for Ryder.
So he was your brother and uncle to your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A funny story, looking at that and thinking of my kids, and me and my wife laugh about this a lot, and I think people from home would probably laugh about it too, is Josh was the kind of guy, so he was Jewish, right? But he was also, I believe his mom was Jewish and his dad was Catholic. So he celebrated both holidays. I was at his bar mitzvah way back. But any holiday, it's like he literally would stop at like the nearest CVS or Walgreens and be the proud.
On his way over.
Yeah.
You know he just got that gift like 5 minutes before he showed up, but it would be like the Walgreens CVS special, like that one aisle where everything's like as seen on TV, and it was like he just like kind of like swooped everything into his cart. But the funniest thing is, like, to this day, like, he got me a heating pad. I probably use that thing at least once a week. Like, it's always like you would look and you'd be like, oh, Josh, you put a lot of thought into this. Thank you. But then come down to it, it would be like the stuff that we actually used, or like, like the bucket for the sand buckets for the kids, or like the fun little water bottles, or like the ship thing. So it was cute because I obviously didn't know Josh as long as Joe did, but having him in my life for those past few years before we lost him, that was just like his style, and you knew to expect it. you know. So with my family, we always do like a secret Santa white elephant gift. So we'd always just like, oh gosh, what did he bring for it? So, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
But the moral of the story is same thing within my whole life. He always showed up.
Yeah.
And he showed up with something, regardless of what it was. You know what I mean? And he showed up with a huge heart. To see him the way he was with my kids, and I think you have a few pictures that you'll get to sooner. I mean, that says it all for me.
Yeah, so he's Jewish.
He was.
So Talia's Jewish.
Yep.
Aviv is Jewish from Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Sharon's Jewish. She's actually a cantor. She's going to the Miami temple to be a cantor right after this. And I'm
Wow.
Jewish. See, again, this is how God is spreading love. I didn't even know Josh was Jewish.
Yeah.
His mom is Jewish.
His mom was Jewish, yeah.
And amazing.
Yep.
Again, God is
And
spreading
both
love.
his sisters,
So this is amazing. So I'm just so moved. So let me show you.
Yeah, there it is. So that's Josh with our oldest, who's now 14, who does not look like that anymore. He's probably like Josh's size.
Yeah, he's huge.
And then that's Ryder as a baby.
Yeah, he loved your kids
Oh,
so
yeah.
much.
Oh, I mean,
Uncle Josh,
yeah,
your brother.
yeah. And that was the thing with Josh. I mean, a big thing with him was you could do whatever you wanted, but I mean, you can even ask his sisters. Must have been tough growing up being younger sisters with him, because nobody wanted to talk to them. Or at least he has an older sister and a younger sister. But I mean, that's the thing. It's like family was very, very important to Josh, and that's what he was to me. And anybody, when he first met my wife, Maritsa, he loved her, absolutely adored her, and looked for her, to ask questions, this and that. And then, my kids became his kids. So.
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite pictures.
Yeah, that was the same night. That was, he actually held the baby. So that was Joe's surprise birthday that we did at a restaurant. I flew his mom in, and while we were having dinner, his mom came walking into the restaurant. A car service had gone and gotten her. So I was like, Joe, can you go to the car and get me something? And when he came back in with his mom. So Josh was holding the baby. And yeah, Ryder, he still remembers him, even though he was so young when he passed. He still remembers and sees in pictures.
So Maritza and Joe, I love you so much. Josh, I love you so much. This is my favorite. So what's it like for you to see this, Joe, this photo?
It still stings. It's loss. I mean, but prior to us talking too, I think that, especially with Josh, I've had losses in my life before, not one like this, because, I have parents, I have siblings, I have, other friends, but nobody in the world knew me like he did. Nobody. And, I honestly I thought I'd be the one, that went before him, and to leave this earth at that age when he had so much more to offer, you feel like you're robbed. And not so much more for me. Like, I keep going back because my kids are very, very important to me. I feel like my kids were robbed, because I knew what he did for my life, and I wanted that for somebody else. And I know he wanted that for his own kids eventually, so he was a big spirit, and he still is. But seeing that picture, even when I get in the car, it motivates me to be better with my own life,
And I think that's the key is that, doing what we've done for a living for so long, unfortunately, we've been around people passing sometimes 12, 2 dozen people in a week. And when you lose, but usually with reason, cancer, accidents, what have you. So I think sometimes when you lose someone so suddenly, it, like you said, Kenny, it puts it in perspective of, that life is short, And so for us, rather than going and being almost like sad, it's instead of embracing the sadness, we embrace the wonderful moments and the wonderful memories. And in our business, even, we transformed our whole business to being pretty much all about love and all about really just taking your life for what it is and just making sure that in every moment that you're living, that you're taking advantage of that moment. You're not living in the past, so you're not feeling that feeling of depression. You're not living in the future, so you're not feeling those feelings of anxiety. You're being present with the people around you, with the experiences that you're having. Like you just had Stanley's picture up there not too long ago. The Tuesday, we had dinner with Stanley, Joe and I. We're at our networking meeting. We had dinner with him. We had dinner with him on his birthday. And then the following Tuesday, we're at his funeral, burying him. And rather than be upset, we are blessed that we had those moments, even though sometimes they're too soon. Yeah. And sometimes they're too soon, but we just have to remember that, when you live every day in the moment, leave no stone unturned and just go out there, live it, enjoy, stop wasting time on things that don't bring you joy or love, and really just embrace love. Like, that's why Joe and I love each other so much. And this morning, he was leaving the house with the kids, and I said, not yet. And I laid with them for an extra 10 minutes because I just wanted to love on them. Because again, we saw like a month ago, 12 kids, 20 kids went to school one day and they didn't come home. So you don't know what's going to happen. And so that's why I say, don't, say I love you. Don't leave any hug ungiven, any kiss ungiven, and just embrace it.
And I like what you mean, obviously, Kenny, what you do with the flowers and giving out to people, because I always I tell everyone, you never know what somebody's going through. You never know. I mean, they could be smiling all day or not, but a simple smile to somebody could change everything for that individual for that day. So being kind to people, and looking for like true forgiveness, for people. Because I see a lot of people that argue, with family members, over the silliest things. And I've seen those things be taken, and you know what? You don't want that to be the last thing that ever happens, because none of us are promised tomorrow. I love on my kids every day, because this world that we live in, I don't know, if I'm coming home at the end of the day. I don't know what's going to happen to them, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to do my best to be present every day, to love on them. And that's why we're so passionate about what we do. It's leveling up people's lives, get rid of those limited beliefs and those stucks that are stopping you from being a better person, a better human being.
Yeah, and being loved, because a lot of people don't feel like, when you showed the video with the Milagro Center, close to 20 years ago, I guess now, I used to do classes over there and therapy, sand trade therapy, and there's a lot of people that don't feel like they deserve love, and there's a lot of people who get themselves into relationships or situations where they feel broken, and they maybe get on drugs or in abusive relationships or practice self-harm because they don't feel like they deserve the love. So, making sure that people realize that they do deserve to be loved, and that they're not broken, and that we're all just trying to navigate ourselves through and get to the other side.
Yeah, so I love you too so much. So
We love
Sharon's prepared a song in a little bit for you. Actually, 2 songs, but I want Sharon to sing to Talia to celebrate her birthday. And
Happy
I wanted
birthday.
to show Talia what I did for her. So
beautiful.
Talia, I love you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kenny. That's such a nice surprise. Amazing. I love you, Talia. Sweet 17.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, my darling Talia. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Love you.
Love you, Talia. Love you, Shah. So, Shah, also, I want you to tell me about this picture.
So, that picture is my best friend since I'm 19, Aviv, who arrived yesterday from Israel. And we met in the audition.
Aviv, do you want to sit with Sharon right now? Do you want to sit with Sharon right now? I would love if you sat with Sharon, put your arms around her. Because you're best friends. It's so beautiful. Every picture they have, their arms are around each other. Again, like Josh and Joe.
So we met at the auditions for the theater department. It's actually social theater, which is a type of a drama therapy in Tel Aviv University all those years ago. And I was 19. We had just finished the army. And Aviv came right up to me, and we hit it off, and we're celebrating.
I fell in love with this girl from some reason. I don't know why, but just fell in love with her. She was like spreading something, spreading love.
And that's it. And we've been friends for about 31 years.
Yes, exactly 31. And this is a picture. There was a war. There was a war in Israel, a very bad war, that there were rockets flying everywhere. And I took my son, and we came to Florida. It was the first time that my son has been to Florida, because my daughter was already here, but my son hasn't. And people were dying there. And I remember there was a soldier in the neighborhood of Sharon who just died, and his family was in Israel, but the other family was in the neighborhood of Sharon. And Sharon said, I'm going to take you to Marco Island or somewhere where we can forget about all the sadness that is going through. And my husband is in the forces in Israel, not in the army, but in the forces of the, the security forces, right? Something that I can talk about. But so he stayed in Israel, and we came, and they took us there, and we had the best time. And
So this is the Best Friend show.
Yes, it is.
This is the best friends, Joe and Josh and Aviv and Sharon. So love you, love you, love you, Aviv and Sharon. Love you, love you, love you, Josh. And love you, love you, love you, Maritsa. So Sharon, why don't you go to the back, and so we can sing some of those beautiful songs. I just want to bring Jenna up here quickly. Jenna, I love you so much. So Jenna is amazing. This is for you. I love Jenna so much. So this is what love's all about. Jenna just jumps in just because she has such a huge heart. She says, oh, I'll take pictures for you. I love you so much. So much. I want to give you a hug. Thank you so much. So much, so much, so much. Thank you. Again, that's what love is, just because, with no expectations of anything in return. So Shah's going to be singing some songs, some love songs. She's going to sing one song dedicated to her daughter, and then she's going to sing two songs dedicated to Josh and Joe and Maritsa. And Shah, you're getting the camera together? Okay. So while we're doing that, Katie, life is short. Could you please play the Meatloaf song? So life is short. I'm going to play my favorite song right now from a rocker who just passed. Please play that song.
Some days it don't come easy, and some days it don't come hard. Some days it don't come at all, and these are the days that never end. And some
turn to dust and we'll all fall down. And sooner or later you'll be screwing around.
I won't do that. No, I won't do anything for love. Oh, I would do anything for love. Oh, I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. No, I won't do
Love you, love you, love you, Meatloaf. So I'll do anything for love, because love is everything. Actually, I'm going to show you something that I always say. Keep calm, because love is the answer to everything. So I love you all. So Sharon prepared a song, a love song, for our two featured guests. So Joe and Maritsa, will you please gather around Sha, please, and bring your microphone?
I will.
Come close, gather around, put your arms around Sha.
So this is a special song. You'll
Put your arms
recognize, I'm
around.
sure.
Okay.
And
Oh.
it's dedicated to friends, best friends all over the world.
Touche.
Come close, gather around Sha, come close. Joe, put your arms around Sha. Come together. Come together.
And I never thought I'd feel this way. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm glad I got the chance to say that I do believe I love you. And if I should ever go away, well then close your eyes and try to feel the way we do today. And then if you can remember, keep smiling, keep shining, knowing you can always count on me. For sure, that's what friends are for good times and bad times. I'll be on your side forevermore. That's what friends are for. Well, you came in loving me, and now there's so much more I see. And so by the way, I thank you. And then for the times when we're apart, well then close your eyes and know these words are coming from my heart. And then if you can remember, keep smiling, keep shining, knowing you can always count on me. For sure, that's what friends are for. In good times, in bad times, I'll
Maritsa, why did Sharon pick that song?
So that was actually our wedding song. So that was awesome. So yeah, so it was our wedding song because he is my best friend. So I always say, you know, we want something to recognize, you know, that part of our relationship, not just our friendship. So yeah.
Beautiful. So that was your
awesome.
wedding song.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that song gets you for more ways than one. But I actually thought about it. You know, I mean, some of the verses in that song, and we all know I'm not good with verses, but I get to tell it, so I get to read it and I feel it. I mean, it's kind of like that. You know, it hits that sad string for you, but then it comes back. At least how I'm wired, it's all right, Josh. You mean when you're no longer here, it's like I got the torch now. I'll take it to the end zone. Do you know what I mean? It's like living, you know, though I have to live my own life and do some things, it's my relationship with him was so special that it makes me want to be more. I mean, I want to be more because he's unable to do so, you know? So it's like taking that and just being relentless within life, you know, with myself, my family, and helping others, so.
So I want to show the slideshow of Josh, so everybody gets an idea of Josh. Please play the slideshow of Josh. Wow. So Joe, after seeing that, what was it like to see that slideshow?
It's emotional, obviously, because I still to this day I miss him like it was, 5 years ago. But whatever I can do in my life to pay tribute to him in any which way, regardless of what it is, whether it's the next right decision I make, or just loving on somebody else, it feels good.
Yeah. So he's right with us right now. What would you love to say to him live?
I love you, and I miss you, and not a day goes by that I don't think about you.
Yeah, you love him and you miss him every second. Not a day goes by you don't love him and miss him.
Right.
And he's in your car with you every day.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
So Sharon prepared a song to love you, Josh, Maritsa.
So when you see all those beautiful pictures, you have many memories. So this next song is about all those amazing memories that you've made, the way we were. maestro. You don't have to restart it, just keep. Okay. We can try a different song. That one works. Didn't have audio? That's weird. Okay. All right. So. I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. Think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. But I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. You may be right, you may be wrong, but say that you'll bring me along to the world you see, to the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see. Every night I lie in bed,
what I think is, I think Josh switched the song.
He did.
Probably
did.
Yeah, that's
have a
nice.
million dreams and design a life of your million dreams.
Yeah.
You know what I think? Josh strikes me as someone that would want you to rejoice and to live out every single dream for him and with him, and not just focus on the memories of the past, but to live the present and go forward. And he's right there by you.
Thank you. Thank you. I kind of got lost in the song there for a minute as I was
That's my
staring
first time
down.
hearing that song.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did you see the
Yeah.
movie?
No.
Oh, you guys got to see the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to see
As I was staring down, I got lost for a little bit in it.
beautiful.
But it was beautiful. Thank you so very much for that.
So love you so much. Love you, love you.
Love ya.
Love you too.
Yeah, love you, Joe. Love you, Sha. Love you, Maritsa. Love you so much.
Love you, Josh.
Thank you. Love you, Josh. So much. So I want to thank all you lovers for watching the Florida Love Show today. Life is short, so go out and love everybody in your life, and while they're still here. So as I end every show, who can you give a rose to? I love you. You've been listening to the Florida Love Show, where we've been spreading love in the Florida community. For more information, please contact me, Kenny Love, at 917-699-1995 or ken@florida-love.com or on our website, florida-love.com. See you next week, 3 p.m. Friday for the Friday Love Hour. Keep spreading love in your life and have a loving week. Love you all.